Not only have mate preferences changed, but dating norms as well. Dating today is much less formal, and romantic connections are often built through socializing in groups. Many of today's youth will stay single into their 20s, engage in casual dating for the first 10 or more years of their romantic lives. This figure demonstrates that engaging in formal dates has decreased in the past 2 decades for high school seniors. Participating in formal monogamous romantic partnerships has also been decreasing in the same time period. Sociologists have studied the emergence of what is known as hookup culture among young adults, especially college students. Paula England, a sociologist at NYU, currently a visiting professor at Stanford, performed extensive interviews of undergraduate students. She also used online survey data from 18 different colleges and universities. She found that in general, dating is used to refer to exclusive monogamous relationships, boyfriend or girlfriend, and that prearranged dates, as the term used to refer to, are rare today. Also, students are engaging in a behavior that they call hooking up, which encompasses a diverse range of sexual contact with another individual. Additionally, she finds that though the majority of hookups do not lead to monogamous relationships, many relationships do start as hookups. At a certain point, two individuals that have been casually hooking up have a talk where they decide whether or not to define the relationship as exclusive. Though this might seem obvious or taken for granted by students reading this lecture, this was not the normal way to form romantic relationships in the U.S. as recent as a half-century ago. England also finds that the sexual double standard still exists. Men are more likely to initiate talk about sex and sexual activity with potential hookup partners. Also, terms such as slut are used to stigmatize women with many sexual partners, while men with multiple partners are valorized. England uses orgasm rates to measure whether there are gender-related patterns in who experiences sexual satisfaction in the hookup culture. She finds that orgasm rates increase with an increasing number of past partners, meaning with sexual experience. She also finds that there is a significant gap in orgasm rates, whereby women are less likely to receive an orgasm during a sexual encounter. This gap is significantly reduced for men and women in exclusive relationships. Based on this data, she argues that men are benefiting more than women in the hookup culture. However, critics of England's findings argue that orgasms are not the only benefits. They argue that many people enjoy sexual contact that does not result in an orgasm, and that we therefore can't conclude men benefit more from this emerging phenomenon. Lisa Wade, a sociologist at Occidental College, did another study similar to England's. She found that though many students feel intense pressure to be engaging in hookups, students engage in only about 4 to 7 hookups throughout their college experience on average. About 30% of students are not sexually active at all. She concludes that sexual activity is not as frequent and widespread on college campuses as the general public believes. Wade also analyzes the ideology behind hookup culture and the meanings attached to hooking up. Like England, she finds gender inequality, whereby women are experiencing less pleasure than men and experience the double standard discussed above. She also finds a norm of heterosexism, where heterosexuality is treated as normal while same-sex desire is stigmatizing, marginalizing, and discriminated against. She finds that sexual contact is often viewed as an antagonistic game, which makes the idea of, quote, friends with benefits difficult to attain. She argues that more open communication between sexual partners would help reduce the feeling of antagonism between heterosexual men and women so that everyone benefits from their sexual relationships.